When I first heard about the code word they use out in the Arizona backcountry, I thought it was just another layer of ranger superstition, but then I saw the report myself, the one that still sits sealed in the district office drawer, marked only with last year's date and a single red stamp, because once that word goes out over the radio, everything changes fast. The rangers don't explain it to new hires, they just say, if you ever hear it, drop what you're doing and follow protocol, no questions, no second thoughts. It's not used often, maybe once every few years, but when it is, the whole backcountry goes quiet, like the land itself is listening and waiting. I've been told that saying it out loud, even in training, can bring bad luck, so they just live with knowing it's there ready if the thing wearing someone else's skin decides to walk too close to a trailhead or a station. For more stories rangers aren't supposed to tell, subscribe to Park Ranger Confidential. I pulled night duty at the Kaibab Lake Station last October. The shift started normal. Paperwork. Coffee going cold in the mug. Radio crackling with routine traffic from the highway patrol 20 miles west. Around 1:17 the static changed. Not louder. Deeper. Like someone had moved the microphone closer to a throat that wasn't quite human. Dispatch never came through clear after that. Just fragments. Then silence. Long silence. The kind that makes you count your own breathing. I stepped outside to check the perimeter lights. The lantern above the door flickered once. Held steady. Wind moved through the pines, but the needles barely touched each other. No sway. Just sound. I stood there listening longer than I should have. The dirt road that leads down to the lake stayed empty. No headlights. No dust. Nothing. Back inside, the radio hissed again. A voice. Familiar. Ranger Caldwell. He was stationed at the North Rim outpost. 40 miles of forest between us. He said my name. Slow. Like he was tasting it. Asked if I was alone. I answered yes. Protocol. He asked again. Slower. I said yes. Then he said the word. Low. Almost whispered. The code word. I felt the temperature drop inside the station. Not metaphor. Actual. The coffee mug on the desk showed frost forming on the rim in seconds. I grabbed the logbook. Hands shaking. Wrote the time. 1:32. Protocol says lock down. Kill exterior lights. Barricade the door with the steel cot if needed. Wait. Do not respond. Do not transmit. Do not leave the building. I killed the lights. Darkness pressed in. The lantern outside died on its own. No wind. No sound at all now. I sat against the wall. Back to the corner. Knee pulled up. Flashlight off. Waiting. Minutes passed. Maybe 10. Maybe 30. Time feels wrong when the silence is that thick. Then footsteps. Outside. Slow. Deliberate. One boot. Pause. Another boot. Pause. Circling the station. Not fast. Not searching. Just walking. The rhythm never changed. I could map it in my head. Around the fuel shed. Past the flagpole. Along the porch. Back again. Every loop took exactly the same amount of time. I counted 7 full circuits. On the 8th the steps stopped directly outside the door. Right in front of it. No knock. No voice. Just presence. I stared at the door handle. It did not move. But the air around it felt heavier. Like something was leaning in. Pressing without touching. I kept my breathing shallow. Mouth open. No sound. The footsteps resumed. Same rhythm. Same direction. Clockwise. Always clockwise. After the 12th loop I heard something else. A second set. Fainter. Coming from the tree line. Matching the first set. 2 walkers now. One close. One distant. They never spoke. They never sped up. They just walked. I stayed in the corner until dawn. First gray light came through the slats. Footsteps stopped. Completely. I waited another hour. Then another. No sound. I cracked the door. Empty road. Empty clearing. No prints in the soft dirt. None. The frost on the coffee mug was gone. The logbook entry was still there. 1:32. The word written in my handwriting. I did not remember writing it. But it was there. Exact. Spelled the way Caldwell said it. I closed the book. Locked it in the safe. Never spoke about that night to anyone on shift. They never asked. They just nodded when I requested day rotation for the next month. And they understood. 3 months later. Different station. Coconino Rim. Ranger Martinez took the call. Middle of January. Snow on the ground but not deep. Just enough to muffle everything. He was alone. Standard winter duty. Checking in every 2 hours. At 3:41 dispatch lost contact. Not static. Just gone. They tried raising him. Nothing. Protocol kicked in. 2 rangers rolled out from Flagstaff. Took the long way because the direct road was iced. They found the station at 5:20. Door wide open. Lights on inside. Martinez sitting at the desk. Radio mic in hand. Thumb still on the button. But he was not transmitting. He was staring at the wall. Eyes open. Not blinking. They said his skin looked wrong. Too tight. Like it did not fit the bones underneath. He did not respond to his name. Did not move. They pulled him out. He walked when guided. But no expression. No recognition. In the truck he finally spoke. 1 sentence. The code word. Then silence. They drove him straight to the hospital in Flagstaff. Doctors found nothing. No drugs. No trauma. No fever. Just elevated heart rate. and eyes that would not track light properly. He stayed 3 days. Then disappeared from the room. No one saw him leave. Security footage showed the hallway empty. Bed empty. Door never opened on camera. They searched the grounds. Nothing. 2 weeks later a report came in from a backcountry hiker. Said he saw a ranger on the rim trail. Middle of nowhere. No pack. No coat. Just uniform. Standing still. Facing away. Hiker called out. The figure turned. Slow. Face looked like Martinez. But the smile was wrong. Too wide. No teeth showing. Just stretched skin. Hiker backed away. Figure did not follow. Just watched. Then raised one hand. Made the shape of a radio mic. Pressed invisible thumb down. Mouth moved. No sound. But the hiker knew the word. He ran. Reported it the next day. Rangers listened. Took the report. Filed it. Never followed up. Martinez is still listed as missing. Active payroll. Because protocol says do not close the file. Not until confirmed. And confirmation never comes. Last month. I drew the short straw again. Same district. Different post. Remote cabin off the Verde Valley Trail. No cell service. Radio is all you have. I checked in at 2200 hours. Routine. Then I waited. Around 2:50 the radio lit up. No call sign. Just breathing. Long. Wet. Like lungs that have not been used in years. Then my name. Not Caldwell. Not Martinez. A voice I did not know. Soft. Patient. Asked if I was listening. I did not answer. Protocol. The voice waited. Minutes. Then said the word. Clear. No whisper this time. Said it twice. I felt the cabin shrink. Walls closer. Air thinner. I killed the lights. Sat in the corner. Same as before. Footsteps started. Outside. Same rhythm. Clockwise. 1 set. Then 2. Then 3. They circled. Never stopping. Never faster. I counted loops until I lost track. Sometime after 4 in the morning the radio clicked again. Different voice. Caldwell. He said my name. Said they were outside. Said it was cold. Said to open the door. I stayed still. Breathing through my mouth. Silent. The footsteps kept circling. The voices kept asking. Never angry. Never loud. Just asking. Over and over. Same phrases. Same order. I waited until first light. Footsteps faded. Voices stopped. I stood up. Legs numb. Opened the door. Snow had fallen overnight. Fresh. No tracks. None. Not a single print around the cabin. Not on the porch. Not in the clearing. Nothing. I went back inside. Sat at the desk. Picked up the mic. Thumb hovered. I almost said the word. Almost. Then I set the mic down. Wrote the time in the log. 2:50. The word. My name. Nothing else. I locked the cabin. Drove out. Turned the report in. Sealed envelope. Same red stamp. They took it. No questions. I requested transfer. Denied. Still here. Still listening. Every night shift I wait for the static to change. It will. Someday. When it does, I will say the word. Because protocol says so. And because the alternative is worse. For more stories rangers aren't supposed to tell, subscribe to Park Ranger Confidential.